Hilario. What's up, buddy?
Not too much, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, I've only released like 3 episodes, so.
No, I'm just saying from last week to this week, but we've both been busy. I've been busy as fuck, and got a 7-hour break between classes right now, so figured why not.
Yeah, what have you been working on lately? Just school, and what are you doing in school right now?
Got algebra, intro to forestry, basic drawing, and intro to logic, which all in all isn't too bad, but it's just like Tuesday's full up. Thursday I have a 7-hour gap from 11 to 6.
Yeah.
Working on the house. Actually putting a little more time into the vet's hall. And just gotta get the workouts in whenever I can. I'm just trying to start 2-a-days, so just busy. Like every time I go home, it's either to sleep, eat, or watch an episode of TV.
Here, pull the mic towards your face if you're gonna lean back like that. Yeah. Like try and maintain 6 to 8 inches, like a good length.
Anyways, no comment. Well, that's
what
about
else you been
it.
doing at the vet's hall? You've been putting in more hours there, like.
I mean, I just been going up there since I was gone all summer in Europe and whatever. I just kind of had to catch up on my membership duty as First Vice Commander and just get everything in order, get my message out to all the Legionnaires, and just make sure that's all squared away. Because as I've been gone, Jeff took on my workload, and I just want to kind of rectify that and make sure everything's in order. That way I can leave it for a few days and get back to it and make sure everything's good and kosher, and then find out what other events we have going on. We have Oktoberfest this month. So I'll probably be there volunteering for that.
Oh, it's October. No, it's not.
No, it's September. But Oktoberfest is celebrated in September. Even the Germans do it.
Okay.
So it's just, that's the 29th. And I'll probably be there. Only have like 1 stein or 2 of beer, and then that's it. But just trying to put a few more hours in there and make sure everything's running smoothly.
You're the vice commander?
First vice, yeah.
First vice. And how many members are up there now?
Up there, we have about 150 to 155 members right now. And we're only about 70-ish renewed. I mean, are you still planning on renewing? Or?
Yeah, I want to renew.
All right, awesome. Because we just renewed you for ourselves. Like Jeff was like, "Is Tyler gonna renew?" It's like, "Not too. I would. I'm pretty sure he would." So we clicked you and then renewed you. And I was just like, "I'll just get the money from him later." And if he doesn't want to renew, then
what do I owe you?
45.
Oh, okay. And how much is the hat? I want the cool hat.
The hat, honestly, it's around $30. I have to talk to Jeff because.
Cool.
When I got mine, he's like, "Well, since you're holding off for this position, I'll just give you the hat."
Yeah,
also,
what do the little badges represent? Can I get
some
a badge?
Of the, if you become a first vice commander, yeah, second vice commander seat's open if you want to deal with what is it? God,
and have to answer to Jeff? Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I know. It's a pain sometimes. But the second vice is just like in charge of putting events together, is talking to renters and things like that. Okay. So, I mean, you could just get the email and do it from here. But, I mean, if you don't want to be going to the vet's hall fairly often, then...
Yeah, no, I got a desk.
For now. Yeah.
That's funny.
But, the badges are just like for 100% completion on renewing memberships, or if you're like holding an elected position for like a year or so, you get a badge. I think typically it's more for the commander. Like for me, I just have vice commander on the side of my little hat. If I get anything else, it's just like I don't really want to put ribbons or anything on it. Is it called
something, or does everyone just call it a little hat?
A cover.
A cover.
I still just call it from the.
It doesn't have like a technical term, like.
If it does, I don't know what it is. I might get you the answer later. But I just call it piss cover from like the Marine Corps. We had the green piss cover, so I just still kind of call it that, or just cover. But yeah, I'll find out how much it costs and get you that info, and then we should square it away. Yeah, and if you want to start coming to our meetings, first Friday of every month. Yeah. 5 is dinner, 6 is meeting.
I have to hit the gym, man.
I know. I know. Like for me, it's either the gym before or after.
Yeah.
Typically after, I can kind of just get away. It's like, hey, gym closes in 3 hours. I need to leave right now.
Well, the one meeting I went to, it's like everyone's just sitting around bullshitting with each other, and then eventually, like, you agree on something. Everyone's like, I. And I was like, all right, what am I doing here?
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes, like, even like now, like me and myself and Jeff are kind of trying to initiate everybody to get in a conversation. Like before he moves on, I was like, anyone want to say anything about this topic? Instead of just agreeing, like, come on, do you have any arguments? Do you have any discussions? Do you have any thoughts on what we're doing? I mean, for the most part, everybody agrees. And we'll have like 1 or 2 comments per every topic. But sometimes it's like all our members are older and they'll have white hair. They're not really engaging like we would like. So like long meetings do kind of just go by like, all right, we're planning on doing this, this, and this. Aye, nay. accepted. Cool, let's move on. And then it's just like, all right, just me, Jeff, and like a handful of other people are making the decisions. Yeah, and everybody else is kind of just there to be
along
there
for the ride.
Yeah, but I mean, they keep us in check. Yeah, I mean, they keep us in check if they come in, they hear something they don't like, or they usually have questions about us, trying to clarify things. So we get some feedback from them. But like I said, we have 150 members. About 15 to 20 show up, and the rest of them just stay at home. They don't really come out to the events, but they're still just renewing their membership to support the American Legion and everything that we do. And then and just recently we fixed the whole issue we had with renewing members, how it just starts on July 1st and ends June 30th, because we had some members that renew June, and then in July we're asking them to renew their membership again. Like, I just paid last month. Well, you paid for the 2017 to 2018 year, 2018 to 2019
year,
and then now it's the 19 to 2020 year, which was a big issue. And then I sent out my first vice commander's message, so pretty sure I might chap someone's ass, but it's just like, well, at least we're letting you know now, like, why this is happening, and hopefully we can move on with this with no hiccups or anybody getting too butthurt.
Yeah, if you renew in July every year, then
you're golden. Yeah, then I think by, I'll say mid-November, if we get 110% or early bird for getting all our members that renewed, renewed. And then early bird is just before the deadline. 110% is we recruited, I think it's just one new member. Before it had to be 10% of what you had. Now it's just one new member every year above what you had the previous year. So it's kind of nice, but at the same time, it's just hard getting a hold of people. And some people are a little stubborn when it comes to it. But
well, while we're on the subject, let's plug the Vets Hall. So for anyone listening, if you're a younger vet living in Arcata, like
in Arcata, Eureka, Humboldt County. I mean,
anywhere in Humboldt, you can be in the Arcata one.
It could be live anywhere and be at any post, but we recommend the Arcata Veterans Hall because the Eureka one is still closed. The McKinleyville Arcata or American Legion post is closed, so they're kind of merged in with us. And I feel like we're the most active. The Eureka one is still up and coming. It's on 1425 J Street.
That's the one that they just rebuilt, right?
Yeah, the one they put like $8 million in it, and it's supposed to open like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That one. I mean, it's really nice. It seems good. It has like some pretty good people in charge of it, but it's still just taking forever for them to get the ball rolling.
Right. What are some other requirements for the?
If you want to be in the American Legion, you have to be a veteran with honorable discharge. If you have anything other than that, we're willing to help out and get you the paperwork done and actually change your discharge paperwork. We tried doing that for a few other members, but then things kind of went south more on their end than ours.
Right.
And then other than that, just had to be a member, honorable discharge, come on through, talk to us.
Not during wartime, or?
You. Nope, just anybody.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the veterans of foreign wars.
The last time we weren't in war was like early 90s, right? For a brief stint.
Yeah, it's a never-ending wars now. Hey, man, it's moneymaker.
Everyone's in wartime. Yeah.
Yeah, the VFW is what you have to be a veteran of a foreign war. Like I raped because I was in South Korea for a month, and technically that's a war zone because South Korea and North Korea had their issues.
Right.
So it's just like for me.
But instead, you're like hanging out at the mall.
Yeah, right. A few times we did some training, but it's like we never really saw anything. It's just like the threat was always there.
Right.
We went to the DMZ a few times, but nothing ever happened. So I feel like I don't really rate it just because I was just hanging out in South Korea for a month, and it's like, oh, here's the medal. Like, thanks,
Rambo.
But yeah, that's about it. I mean, come by, see what we're about. We'll give you a tour of the hall, and if you like it, cool. If not, just come on by. We still have veterans. We have a canteen that we just opened up.
Yeah, what's the deal with the canteen again? Because that was a hot mess. Everyone was bitching about, well, the closest neighbors, I should say, not like the rest of the town, but they were like complaining that the getting their business license or getting the liquor license was just gonna cause heavy foot traffic and loud noises and rambunctious parties and like literally nothing else changed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. It's more of a, whenever you get Jeff on here, you can elaborate on that as much as he wants, but I'm not gonna step out of line and go off on it. But
he took the lead on that.
Yeah, but as it stands right now, it's just like we're still working on getting it, and it's just,
you still don't have it?
No, we're still working on it. Just because like it's a huge deal with the city. It's kind of just giving us some pushback, and the whole neighbors ordeal was, we had a meeting about, I want to say 4 months ago, right before I left, and we invited all the neighbors.
Right.
They came in, and about 85 to 90% of their complaints were about renters, which we have no control over. We rent the hall out, we give them the keys, they do their party or whatever they're doing, they give us the keys back, they clean up, they leave. And there's like a lot of noise complaints. A lot of the renters, when they'd have visitors coming by, kind of just being loud or obnoxious or trashing the place. Not too bad. And that was what the neighbors didn't like. The canteen, about 50% of them didn't even know we had one down there, and they were surprised. And about the other 50 that didn't know and knew, they were all about it. They came down afterwards, had a few drinks, hung out with us after the meeting, and we're just trying with working with the neighbors in the city hall to get that in order.
So you're trying to get it to where it's just directly open to the public, or it's still a member has to like bring you?
As it stands right now, it's still more or less open to the public. We just don't have any set hours, and that's the liquor license is going to provide us with. We just have to give them like, these are the hours we want to be open, these many days a week. And after these set hours, the general public, unless they're with a member, have to leave, and the members can hang out until we decide to close, which the latest would be at 2:00. And then we're going to make sure everybody has a ride home, so nobody's drinking and driving. There's going to be a DD, or we're going to try and provide a service that gives people rides home if they live in the general area. That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah. We should get one of those little bike things, little tuk-tuks or whatever they're called. Ding! Just give them a ride home.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be a good idea. You bring it up at one of the meetings.
Oh, yeah. I'm not biking people up hills, up and down hills.
Just down, and then you can bike yourself back up.
Yeah, that's true. It's at the top of the hill. All right. Well, let's back up a minute. How'd you get in Humboldt? I don't even know your backstory.
Oh man, do I want the whole spiel or
no? I want the 5-minute spiel.
Oh, okay, let's see. All right, we got time.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was in high school. Found out about HSU because of the fire program. Like,
where'd you go to high school?
Gardena, down in SoCal County, literally the city to the west of Compton.
Yeah.
By one. So
anything
right by the
south
border.
of like Fresno to me is just Southern California.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it's all down there.
I was born and raised there, and then found out about HSU, wanted to come here, told my dad about it. He's like, yeah, you got it. If you want to go there, we'll go. Talked to my cousin. He's like, oh, they do a lot of drugs there. I was like, oh, shit, I didn't know that. It's just a plus, new experiences, you know? And next day, my dad's like, so where do you want to go there again? And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'll tell him the same thing, like, beautiful, great school, like, nice scenes. Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, and the drugs? And he's like, is that the only reason you want to go? And I'm like, shit. I was like, I don't think I want you going there anymore.
You could have compared it to Chico, though. You're like, yeah, but I'm not going to Chico.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? We live right next to Compton. If I want anything, just walk outside and fall on my lap.
Right.
So that didn't happen. I ended up joining the military for Marine Corps on a real branch, in my opinion, you know?
Get the fuck out.
God damn it. Someone's got thin skin over here. But
so you had thoughts about HSU before you joined the Marines.
Yeah.
And then your dad was like, no. You can't go to college and have fun, and you're like, all right, fuck it, I'll go to the Marines.
Exactly. Yeah. And then when I told him about that, I remember like the day I walked in, my dad and my mom.
And we're back.
All right.
Sorry about that. We ran out of batteries, so now we had to run some errands, and now we're back. Let me start this.
Yeah, you're all paid up now, so it's kosher now.
Yeah, we're even. All right, where were we? You were talking about coming out of the closet?
That sounds about right. So anyways, I come back. My parents are at the table, right? I come out of the closet. Sure as shit. Because I was hiding in the closet while they ate dinner, you know?
And they're like, we knew it.
Nah. So that's why you're going to the Marine Corps. No, but like I came home one day. I forgot what I did or who I talked to beforehand. But sitting at the table, I'm kind of just like grabbing the chair, leaning back and forth as I tell them like, oh, so decided to join the Marine Corps. And my dad's just like, what? And I was
Wait,
like,
you already talked to the recruiter and signed papers and everything?
More or less. I think I just signed like the initial go to DEP or MEPS or whatever and get everything started. Okay. And I was just like, I decided on it.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, and he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm joining the military. And he's like, are you sure? If I want to go to HSU, I'll pay for everything right now. Don't worry about a thing. I'll send you there. And I was like, all of a sudden, quick 180. And I'm like, nah, I think I'll go to Marine Corps. Then like halfway through boot camp, I was like, I should have gone to fucking school. But the good thing is like, it made me who I am now. Yeah. And even like when I got out of the Marine Corps, school took me a while to adjust. I can only imagine how it would be 4 years prior. Some dumbass kid out of high school just saying fuck school and not
making way worse decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And like I got out 2016, started working. Well, did what the fuck I wanted for about 2 or 3 months. Then when I realized money burns fast without an income, I was like, I need to start working. That fall, I looked into semester classes for HSU. And I found out that I took it on the register, but I was already planning on moving up here. I quit my job. I had packed up my car. And I was like, well, I'm already here. I'm living in my sister's house on the floor until her roommate leaves, like 2 weeks, and I can get the room. So I might as well start taking classes at CR because I'm not going to waste another half a year. And then, yeah, came up here that July. I was a Jubilee or Independence Day at the plaza. Fucking hate that they call it the Jubilee. And then I saw Jeff walking around with Sophia. He had his piss cover on. I saw the Marine Corps flag with the American flag. And I was like, oh, you're a Marine? He's like, yeah, American Legion Post 274. I want to walk over to my booth. And then he fucking got me. And I've been there for about 2 years in July plus however many months for August.
Yeah. So how long did you do in the Marine Corps?
4 years, 2012, 2016.
Oh,
just
nice.
like sex, one pump and I'm done, get the hell out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I decided to get out was I wanted anywhere in California, which a lot of people said, this is a comfort move. And I was like, well, yeah, I want to be close to home.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me Reno, Nevada. And I was like, no, not Reno, Nevada, Yuma, Arizona. Sorry. Got crosswires there.
Yeah, that's still just as bad.
Yeah, it's the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then, when I was I was a radio operator, which I enjoyed, but I found out not necessarily quick that if you're too good at your job, they don't want to leave you or let you leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I was stuck at the comm shop all the time. Eventually, one of my gunnies was getting really sick, so he wasn't really there a lot of the time. And then one of the sergeants took over, and he asked me, he's like, "Oh, hey, you want to fucking leave the comm shop, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Want to go scout snipers?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, their PTs are gonna kill me." And I was like, "Will I still be related at the hall or at the comm shop?" And he was like, "Oh well, you work with them, but you're trained with us." And I was like, "All right, that's a good half and half." The very first day I walk into the office, meet my new captain, my new staff sergeant. My staff sergeant tells me, yeah, from this day forward, whatever the comp shop tells you, just fucking disregard. Your hours now. And I was like, yes and no.
Right.
Like, oh, fuck it. But it was cool. That's one of the best memories with those guys. In general, the Marine Corps is a love-hate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You love it, the camaraderie, the brotherhood, just being in miserable situations
Together.
Yeah, together. Mm-hmm. And you hate it because you're in miserable situations, the hurry up and wait, the mass punishment, all the other bullshit that comes along with it.
Hurry up and wait, man.
That's
So did you go to sniper school?
I mean, that was an opportunity I could have gone if I stayed in and decided to stay
Right.
with that unit. And if I asked them to, like, oh, hey, I want to go to sniper school, they probably would have sent me. But, I mean, I just trained with them in Japan, jungle warfare training, which was fun. We went out to the jungle at one point, and it was like squad warfare. It's like snipers versus 81s versus weapons platoon versus weapons platoon 2.
That's cool.
And that was like me against the other radio operators, kind of, because they had their own like codes for talking over the radio or for the 10-digit grid numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to break one of them completely, and another one I got like halfway through. And after the exercise, they're just like, you know what? We're gonna call you Wind Talker. I was like, oh fuck yeah, it's my call sign. Which is a lot better than other radio operators. His was no comm because you could never get comm up when we're in the field.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, we're glad you have you now.
That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, man, feels like a lifetime ago.
Mm-hmm. I know it goes quick.
How long were you in?
I was
4
in
years.
for 5.5. Yeah, from
Ouch.
2009 to 2015. And that was only a one contract deal.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, here's my life. Take it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, very love-hate relationship as well.
Yeah,
and I was also a radio operator.
No shit, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Well, I was a forward observer, so I would call in airstrikes and talk to.
Oh, okay.
And, so I called 10-digit grids and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm. Nice. Yeah, I did a little bit of training with that once I got with the snipers. Other than that, it was just comm house, get good with all the gear.
Right. Yeah.
Which-
Make sure everyone's on station and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right. And then you came up here. Your sister was already up here when you got here?
Yeah, she's been going to school up here for about 4 or 5 years prior to me.
Okay.
And she got her degree that spring semester.
Mm.
And I usually say it because, like, a lot of times growing up, I'd want to do something and either I wouldn't do it or it wouldn't happen. Then she'd come up and she'd do it. And she'd be like, this is my idea from the beginning. And I was
Right.
like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, it's just like, whatever you say is how it is. I'm done arguing with you. Same thing with this, coming to HSU was my plan. I told my dad. Then she got put, like, in this, like, advanced program in high school. They kind of try and help steer you in the right direction if they see you have potential, which I kind of fell out of that program because I was like,
You didn't have potential?
oh, I did. It was just like, I'm tired of more people telling me what to do than I wanted at that point. Which is,
You're like, let me join the Marine Corps.
yeah, right. And when in high school, it was just like, I had a counselor and he was always like on my ass, just making sure I was doing good. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm tired of you kind of just pushing me. But then, yeah, I kind of joined Marine Corps, so it's kind of just double-edged sword right there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, she did that, and then she ended up going to Washington, D.C., and I was like, oh, that's cool. If I stayed, I would have gone. And then when I was in the Marine Corps, she ended up going to school like a month or two after my boot camp graduation, and I was like, noted. And I came up a few years later, and just pursuing my bachelor's in wildland fire management.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's only 4 more years to go. The last 2 years were more or less away. I mean, I'm getting an associate's in liberal studies, communication, and humanities. So I'm going to walk in spring as long as I pass my classes this semester. So that's cool, but I don't. Just a piece of paper for me. Once I get my bachelor's, I'll be happy. But at this point, it's just like,
just keep grinding.
Yeah.
What's the goal after? Are you gonna move out of the area? Are you trying to stay in Humboldt or what?
Part of me wants to move because I want to get the fuck out of California. It's just going slowly down the drain. Like, I think my breaking point was when they passed a bill that said you could knowingly infect somebody with the AIDS virus, and it wasn't a felony anymore. And that was in order to promote people to get more blood tests and find out they had AIDS, which was just like, I understand why they're trying to promote it more, like, you know, have people go get tested, but it's just like, I had sex with you and I know I have AIDS, and I'm not going to disclose that to you, and then you find out later, and it's not a felony, it's just a misdemeanor. And then, like, the logic behind, like, changing it from a felony to a misdemeanor was just like, well, if it's a felony, it's just going to impact their whole life. They're going to be looked at as a felon, a criminal, their entire life, and we don't want to ruin someone's life like that.
Yeah.
But they're infecting somebody,
right?
And that's changing their whole life. They got to take medications. They got to do a whole new lifestyle change,
totally.
And that's
you just ruin their life.
Exactly, and they only get a misdemeanor.
Give them like a card that says sorry on it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, like, after I saw that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? California's going down the shithole, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, I still love it. Still love some of the people I interact with. Like, a lot of my family's here, and I'm telling them, like, either leave LA or let's get the fuck out of California. As far as I'll go, I don't know.
What state do you have a high opinion of then?
I haven't done enough research. I mean, I like Texas because it's the most American state.
I just know what I hate. I don't know what I like.
Exactly. I mean, ever since I was like 13, 14, I had a calling to Oregon. I don't know why, but now Oregon's slowly becoming California. So I think it was just like...
Yeah, you look like a character in like Portlandia or something.
Oh yeah, right? Put a bird on it. But I don't know. Like I said, like, we'll see what happens. I still want to stick around. The whole bachelor's is just to make me look good later on down the road. I want to be a firefighter. And my childhood dream, I still have that laminated poster I made in kindergarten. My mom still saved it. So the day I graduate, I'm going to be holding that up with me. Like, I fucking did it. Cool. Young me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then I just...
your own calendar made?
Yeah, there you go. Just of me.
Yeah, just of you. All 12 months.
Different poses and different color palettes, mainly pink, you know. You know, I roll. And like, I want to start firefighting, but more or less I want to jump into it as a paid position. One thing gets the volunteers, like, they're doing a lot of shit, which I want to do, but I just don't want to like, step into it until I know it's going to be like a career starting platform, you know.
Right. And for wildland firefighting?
Yes. I mean, I want to kind of start off out in the wilderness first because, one, I get keep growing my hair out for another year or two before I chop it off. And then two, like, I want to get more hands-on experience with it before I come to the city. And city's more medical calls, not really structure fires or anything. And I'm still waiting my results for my NREMT, which is the National Registry for EMTs. And once I get the results back, then hopefully I'll be a registered EMT.
You took the test and everything?
Yeah, I took it last Friday. And I was supposed to get the email 2 business days later. And it's been a week, so getting a little nervous here.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you'll pass.
Yeah, I hope so. If not, I can take it again. I'm just going to study my ass off instead of, you know, going on vacation to Europe and then Mexico for a few months, you know.
Yeah, how was that Europe trip?
It was
You went to
great.
like 4 or 5 different countries?
3.
Yeah. No,
I started off in Germany and Bavaria. Went to visit my friend who I haven't seen in 3 years. Met my goddaughter who turned 3 while I was there, which was great. She won't remember it, but I will. That's, you know, kind of what matters.
It doesn't matter if she knows.
Yeah, well, she's not gonna know. I'm pretty sure next time she sees me, she's like, "Who the fuck are you?" I'm like, "God damn, you don't even talk like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, well,
I'm 5."
Went to Switzerland for a day, which I mean, I only went to one place and had one beer, but it tastes like regurgitated lemonade. It was smooth going down, terrible aftertaste. I do not recommend drinking in Switzerland. That's my opinion. I only had one beer, but kind of soiled it.
I'm gonna judge the entire country off of this one beer.
Yeah, right. Well, it was like from Switzerland. Like, they had German beers and everything else, but I just wanted to try one made there, and it wasn't that good. Germany was great. Went to Berlin for a few nights. We went to Stuttgart for a night. I went to Poland, Warsaw for a week. Warsaw, it's like a college town on a river, which is beautiful. Like all the thing I love most about Europe is all the buildings are
Old.
200-300 years old. Yeah, I mean the big cities just reminded me more or less of San Francisco, Los Angeles, big cities I've been to.
Yeah, like
even though there's
skyscrapers and whatnot.
yeah, more modern, and there's slight differences, like the way people treat each other. There's still like graffiti in a lot of areas. But those like older buildings that have that old school aesthetic, and you can kind of just see the history behind it. Kind of just, kind of leaves you a little breathless.
Did you think the citizens like treat each other a little bit nicely, or
more or less? I mean, like when I talk to anybody, they'd be willing to help, even if there was a language barrier. And I feel like in the States, you don't get that as much. I mean, there's some places that do that, but over there, I feel like it's more commonplace. And Poland was great because I mean, it was really inexpensive. It was like 4 zloty to our dollar. So I'd go somewhere, be like, let me get a beer. Like, oh, that's 6 zloty. Oh, it's like $1.50. Let me get a shot. That's 5 zloty. It's like $1.25 for a shot. This is great. Next round's on me, everybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, like after a month and a half, I was like, I'm just ready to go home. Just spent the last month with my friends, like Delilah, my goddaughter, and just getting to know that area a little more. And then once I got back, was home for a week working on the house my dad bought. Then I went to my hometown in Mexico for a week in between that week. So it's like hometown 3 days, Mexico a week, hometown 3 days. So this is cool, but
busy summer.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Busy semester, which is good. I mean,
yeah, good experience.
Definitely keeping my hands clean, doing what I need to do and not what I want to do, which is a kind of a different change of pace since I got out.
Yeah, did you abuse alcohol and drugs earlier? when you got
more
out?
or less. When I got out, I was like, oh, I can finally smoke now.
Were you a heavy drinker in the Marines?
Say again?
Heavy drinker.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of military personnel kind of gets issued with alcoholism, and then they don't take that back. It's not refundable. So you have a hard time breaking that habit.
Yeah.
But I've been doing good recently, like especially like this trip to Europe kind of put a lot of things in perspective. Like life is short, even if it is the longest thing you do and experience. It's just like want to better myself and like kind of help everybody else around me be better, like the better versions of themselves. Whether they respond to it or not, it's completely up to them. I'm not expecting change, but I feel like it's got to be a lot kinder to each other. And even me, like before, I get irritated a lot, like fairly often. I'll be like, I don't want to help everybody because everybody's in this on their own. But I mean, that doesn't mean we can't be kinder to each other. So like that whole trip kind of definitely helped me realize a lot of things.
Yeah, made you a little more grounded.
Yeah, for sure.
Down to earth, yeah.
And just the whole drinking, I've just cut back a lot. And I've met a few people that kind of just like, I like the way you think, I like the lifestyle choices you're making, so I'm going to start adopting that into myself. So it's kind of nice having like-minded people around me with that same mentality.
Yeah. When people see good and they see that you're friendly and nice to people, like they attract rather than repel.
For sure.
Yeah. How did we meet? I don't even remember how I met you.
We met, I still remember the first day we met.
Really?
Interaction. Yeah, we met at the VRC. I think Jeff was doing a tabling event or something. I don't remember. Remember you walked in, you sat down with whatever her name was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I didn't see you guys often enough for me to remember. I remembered you because you're like an MMA fighter or something. I remember we sat down, we were having a conversation. I think now that I recall that you did say you're a radio operator or something. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then you mentioned your army, and I was like, wall? And then you got like really offended. You're like, well, fuck you too, dude. And you started talking to everybody else.
See, you put up the wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did that whole arm gesture and
I didn't
everything.
put up the wall.
Yeah.
Even this conversation, when you brought up the Marines.
Well, yeah.
You're like, oh no, you have sensitive skin. I didn't say anything. You brought it up, all right? Yeah.
Don't you use your words against me or my words against me?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not getting bothered over here. Like, and
you're getting hot and bothered.
It's fucking hot in here, man. There's no AC. The sun's out. This building just sucks for repelling heat.
Yeah, it is hot.
But I guess another thing too, like, now you just helped me realize. Fuck, I lost it again. It'll come back to me.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the first day we met, and then like I remember you came
VRC,
by the hall.
What the hell is that?
Veterans Resource Center at CR, College of the Redwoods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It was last semester, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
When was the last year? When's the last time you went there?
Yeah, it was last.
Oh,
semester.
last semester.
Semester.
And that's when we met, and then I remember you coming by the hall and us giving you a little tour and seeing if you want to get involved, and you coming in on that meeting, which you were kind of like, "What the fuck's the point of this?" Apparently,
Yeah.
and then Jeff wanted to sponsor you, or you have had the American
Sponsor
Legion
me for
sponsor
the,
you, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I got the badge and everything embroidered on my shorts.
Okay, nice,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's good to go.
yeah, for sure. So, yeah, and that's something to talk to a few other people about trying to get ourselves like signs and other things, trying to see if we get in on, like just having more signs for us to like sponsor ourselves in different locations, different places.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll see how it goes. I want to open my mouth now and have my foot in it later, so
Yeah.
I'll keep all that to myself.
Yeah, stack up all the work. So do you think you'll be a Vets Hall member till you die?
I thought about doing a paid up for life, but the younger you are, the more expensive it is, just because you can have more years ahead of you. So if I wanted to get paid up for
It's
life,
like life insurance.
kind of right. It's it'd be like $2 or $3 if I want to pay, so I have to pay the rest of my life. And then if you're older, it's like $500 to $1,500 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't really remember off the top of my head, just because
Interesting.
I'm not going to be trying to force that on people, because it's hard enough getting some people to pay for a year, let alone, hey, you want to pay? That way you don't have to pay for the rest of your life again? How much is it? $2,000? You just cancel my membership.
Yeah, I was always curious about that. Like, if you're traveling around a lot, you just go to another post and be like, hey, transfer my credits or something?
Yeah, I mean, if you transfer to a new post, we just have to fill out the paperwork. Previous post, new post. Are you paid up to the current year? All right, good. This is a new post, and then they'll get you the new post membership, like the card when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they probably just write you one until National prints out your new one. We had a few new members, not members, but they renewed, and they came to our hall and renewed, and we had to get the paperwork done. But yeah, I'll probably do that. I mean, for a few more years. I mean, I definitely don't want to see it die, but I'm not gonna take over the commander's position because that's stressful enough. And just like 1 week, Jeff was gone, so I had to be there in lieu of him. And people were coming up to me every 5-10 minutes, being like, "Hey, Hilario, we need to do this. Have you talked to this person about this?" And I barely had enough time to like go out and breathe, smoke a cigarette, and I was like, "Fuck, now I know how Jeff feels half the time." And I was like, "Yeah, nope. I'll probably stay in this position for a little while longer, and then eventually kind of step back and be a general member, just because I have things I want to do, and I still want to support them, but I can't, I don't want that to be my life.
Right.
I mean, not that there's anything against it, but just
Yeah, it's just different.
yeah."
Mm-hmm. For sure.
How about yourself? Where do you plan on going with this whole?
I mean, I'll be a member, yeah, but I'm not going to be a...
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
to
not
establish
really.
that, and
Yeah.
then like for you, like what are your plans for the future?
Oh.
I know you said school's not in your bag.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to pursue fighting until I'm too old to fight or I break. One of the
My
other.
money's on the ladder.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm shooting for, 35, maybe late 30s. I don't know. Just see where my body's at. Like, my knees are starting to give me issues in my neck.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep fighting. And then after I'm done with that, hopefully I can make enough money to buy more real estate and then just keep buying real estate until I'm too rich to care and then die.
Yeah, sounds like a solid plan, man.
Yeah, that's my
Best
plan.
of luck to you.
Yeah. Like, I was like, well, it's kind of easy. Just find what you like and just go for it.
Yeah, right. I mean, I feel so too. I think so too. It's like I feel like everybody's capable of achieving whatever goals they set for themselves. So you have to have that drive. You got to put in the work day in and day out until you get there. Because nothing worth having comes easy.
Mm-hmm.
Is the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still trying to come up with that point I had earlier. I almost had
I know,
it a second
you've been
ago.
thinking about it. It's hard to think while you're trying to keep the conversation
Yeah,
going.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like running. It's like once you stop running, it's harder to start again. So it's kind of just like just keep it going while you can.
Yeah,
And
that's very true.
Yeah,
but I think I'm gonna stay in Humboldt for a long time. Like, every time, because I convince myself, I'm like, okay, I should probably go to a bigger city, bigger opportunities, more money, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But then every time I go to visit a big city, I'm like, this is terrible. Like,
Yeah.
I do not want to be here at all. Like, yeah, there might be better opportunities for me, but like, fuck that. Like, I'd rather enjoy the life that's easily accessible here in Humboldt. Like, even bigger places that are near the ocean, like, let's take Santa Cruz. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, Santa Cruz is probably the closest thing that you can get to Humboldt County as far as like what you have access to. They have a forest behind them with a beach in front of them. It's a college town in Northern California. Like, that's pretty much, there's nothing else like that.
Yeah.
And then anything north of here on the coast is just like little podunk towns all the way, forever. Like, Seattle and Portland are both kind of inland.
And so I was gonna say exactly all the way to to the top of the continent.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Humboldt's just a really special place, and every time I think about it, I'm like, man, I just like it here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that too. It's just like big cities I'm fucking over. There's like a lot of fake people,
like,
a lot
why
of
would
traffic.
you want to live in Reading? Like, why?
Yeah.
If you're gonna make 3 times your income, like, you're still living in Reading. You know.
I also feel like a place like that is like not really a lot of opportunity for growth. I mean, I guess there is for certain aspects, but just in general, it's just.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about Texas earlier, and I've always heard good things about Austin. Like, apparently, it's a very nice city for young entrepreneurs. It's growing rapidly, and it has good laws. And I was like, yeah, maybe, that sounds kind of cool.
Life, yeah.
But then I like look at pictures of Austin. I'm like, it looks like every other city. It's just some skyscrapers in the middle, and then everyone's just trying to get as close as they can to it.
Yeah.
And then traffic just gets terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, that's why I like it up here. Like, just like by the ocean, by the forest, great air quality for the most part. Great people. I minus all the tweakers.
Minus the not great people.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put them in a different category.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like, it's great up here. It's beautiful. A lot of good vibes. I mean, if you want to go to the forest, it's right there. You want to climb some mountains, they're right there. You want to go swimming, the ocean's right there.
Yeah, the Trinity Alps is 2 hours away.
Like, it's kind of like nearby and far away enough from everything that it's its own little isolated thing, which is nice. Like a little bubble. But with the new appeal that's kind of coming up, a lot of people are noticing it. So a lot of people are moving, and it's kind of starting to.
New appeal?
Well, I guess it's always had an appeal. Huh?
Oh, the appeal of Humboldt.
Yeah, up here.
Okay.
Like, I know a lot of people are starting to move up here. People are starting to buy houses, and the rent's slowly starting to go up. That's until the housing market pops, I guess. But we'll see how that goes. So that's the only thing I don't like, because it's just like, it's not there yet, but it's starting to remind me of a big city. I kind of see some of the vibes slowly trying to seep their way up here.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see what happens in the next few years. I'm still gonna be here for at least 4 years. Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna, like, even just the last 2 years I've been here, I've kind of noticed things kind of changing for the better or the worse. It's still too early to tell, but there's definitely a difference in I guess, an environment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely a different culture up here as well.
Yeah, from how it was before. And just the whole like legalizing weeds definitely changed
a
lot of things out here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking up houses constantly, right? And
what's your job?
Yeah,
I think so.
But I find so many houses that are for sale that like someone strictly bought just to grow in. So like rooms are just like, torn to pieces, and it's sitting on nice property, like out in the middle of the woods. Like, it'd be really awesome to have that property and that house, but it's just
have to like flip
it's
it,
like war torn from pot.
Hey man,
industry.
If you have like 20 friends over and you each want your own outlet, then you'll be good, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But no, I kind of just remembered what I was going to bring up earlier, was that the whole European trip, when I came back, kind of just like, I choose to be happy, if that makes sense. It's because like before, like I wasn't like anywhere. It's like I'd rather just be upset or kind of callous with the world, just because it kind of helps just keep people away. I kind of just have my walls up, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to be happy. If I have a conversation with somebody and this is something I don't like, I'm not going to get upset or anything. I'm just going to be like, you know what? That's fine. I'm not going to let it bother me. And vice versa. If I see something somebody else doesn't like I'm still going to be happy. If they get upset or angry, it's like, hey, that's on you. You're in charge of your own emotions. Sorry I don't like it, but let's just continue the conversation and move on. Let's not get our feelings intertwined with this. I told it to my dad and my sister, and there's a few times where we kind of butted heads, but then afterwards I told them, like, hey, if you want to be upset, that's fine. I'm going to be happy still. So, and then after like a few minutes, it'd be back to normal, which was good, definitely helpful. And I feel like a lot more people need to be like that. And even for me, like if I upset somebody, like, hey, I'm sorry you're upset. I'm not going to lose a day of sleep at the end of the night. I hope you don't. Right. But, just going to move on. Yeah. And then, like, I mean, I admit it before, I used to be depressed a few times, kind of just down and had dark days where I isolate myself. But I feel like one, that was because I was renting out an apartment, and that money's kind of just going to my landlord. And now my dad bought that property and I'm living in it, so the money's going towards him. And we already have like a verbal agreement that if I can raise enough money, just give him a down payment and also pay off the mortgage, and I'll own it. So it's just like, hey, there's a lot
you
better.
buy it, like, kind of rent to own from your dad.
Exactly. So it's like, this is kind of nice. Yeah.
And there's two properties on that lot, right?
Yes. The first one is more or less like perfect.
Habitable.
Yeah, it's habitable for now. The back one needs like another years of work if we're doing it on our own, which I'd prefer, just so I get that hands-on experience and that skill set. And then another thing too is like whenever I talk to people, like my main 4 or 5 things, I always forget some and remember others, but it's just like, you're not putting a roof over my head, you're not paying my bills, you're not feeding me, you're not a close friend or family
not licking
member.
my balls.
Yeah, you're not sucking my dick. Then why the fuck do I care what you have to say?
Yeah.
I told you this before.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing it should be with everybody. It's just like, if you hear someone having a conversation, why get involved if it has nothing to do with you? I mean, unless I'm like disparaging someone, talking shit to them, putting them down, making them feel less than, then yeah, go ahead and interrupt. But more often than not, I'm going to be the one intervening with someone else having that conversation. Let's just like you, and say, oh, you couldn't hack it in the Marine Corps. Army stands for ain't ready for Marines yet, because I know you can take it.
See,
get under your skin.
Again, man. There you go again.
Hey,
I'm not bringing this
bringing
up.
an example
You're
up
literally just
right
talking about being a nice person and then start talking shit about me.
Well, that's because the close friends and family members, we could poke fun at each other just because we know or don't mean anything by it. And you remember that conversation we had the other day on Instagram?
No, I don't even know when we met, dude. So
You're a great friend, man. A great acquaintance. Let's just say that then.
I just don't give a shit about Marines. That's all.
Oh yeah, Sal. Yeah, Nick was bringing it up. Yeah, the comment I had, and I was like, "Oh, we're meeting up today." Like, "Oh no, I'm busy doing this." Like, it's because I'm brown, isn't it? And you're like, "Yes, it is." And screenshot, and I go ahead and blackmail me. It's not gonna work. Like, damn, you're right.
Yeah.
But still, it's like shit like that. I mean, it's like there needs to be more people that can fuck around with their friends like that without anybody else getting in the way. And I mean,
well, I think it's different too, because people that have been in the military, they know that when you joke around with each other, you can literally say the meanest thing on earth, and it's translated into like love.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing that because you like me and you're having fun hanging out with me.
Mm-hmm.
But other people, they just don't get that.
yeah,
Like they think, honestly, if you say anything bad, it's because you're trying to hurt their feelings and like oppress them or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I was just joking. That is just a joke. Calm down.
I'm just trying to feel people out before I like start, giving them shit. And even still, like, I'll call someone out on shit, like if they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, and it's kind of just gonna hurt themselves in the long run, or no one else wants to tell them, but you can kind of tell that someone does. I'll be like, hey, you should stop doing this. You should change this way of thinking or whatever. I'm like, oh, you're an asshole. You're a dick. It's just like, well, I see all your friends here. None of them are gonna say it. I'll say it. If you want to label me as that, that's fine. I'm just saying because I want you to grow and be a better version of yourself. And a lot of people can't take that anymore.
Yeah,
you call them out on their shit, and they immediately block you off. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like, if you see me doing something that you don't like or you don't think I should be doing, let me know. I'll take it into consideration. And if it's worth me changing, I'll probably put more thought into it. It's like, oh, okay, well, maybe you're right. I shouldn't be doing, saying, or whatever. But just, don't tell me how to fucking think.
Right.
If you want to have a conversation at the end of it, we can process what we have and then come back and have another new conversation about it. But, I mean, think about how hard it is for you to change anything in your life. Lifestyle, like diets, exercise.
It's
the way
just
you
habits.
Think. It's habits, yeah. And if you can't change that in yourself, how do you expect it to change in anybody else? Because it's hard enough for you to do it. So, there's like a lot of shit that goes into it. I mean, it's just a whole human enigma, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're single, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was just kidding, man.
We'll have that conversation later.
But no, like go back to, like I can't hold a grudge. Like I knew that early on, like I would have like anger issues and stuff. But after I got out of the Army and kind of moved up here, right, and just saw how everyone a little bit more humble towards each other, whereas in the military it was very
more or less hostile.
Yeah, more or less a hostile.
Real quick, a quick pin. He said
Yes,
a little more humble in here, like humble and humble.
Yeah, humble.
That's a podcast you are now listening to.
Yeah, plug.
All right, go ahead.
But holding grudges is like something that was just, it baffled me how someone could hold a grudge. It's like you have to like consciously put forth negative emotions and hold on to that for an extended period of time. Like that's not healthy at all. Yeah. Like if someone backstabs me, like I'm mad, but then like a week later I'm like, well, I'll just exclude that person from my life.
Exactly.
Instead of just being like, let me get him back if I ever see him in the street.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking the same way. Like I never was able to hold grudges. Like even like as a kid and even like doing military, like I'd hate somebody, but it's them doing their job, they have to act certain way or do certain shit, whatever. We had one piece of shit guy come by the hall and then get more or less tossed out of the hall by me one night. Long story, and I can get into it. Turns out he wasn't even a veteran, from my understanding. And now it's just like, I fucking hate the guy, but I'm not going to hold a grudge against him. If I see him not gonna just start attacking them or whatever. I'm just gonna tell them like, hey, we fucking cool. I'm not gonna do anything fucking stupid. And I'll be like, yeah. It's like, all right, let's move on. We're adults, whatever.
Yeah.
So I never understood that whole, just constantly thinking about it and just being on alert for that. It's like, God, you're just wearing yourself out.
Yeah.
That's how people age and die sooner, I think.
Stressing out and shit. Crazy. Where are we at? 31? Oh, yeah. Plus the 15 minutes we did. Yeah, that's about 45.
Oh, I just can cut it short. We're
Yeah.
having good talk. As
All
long
right,
as we've ever talked. Without one of us being intoxicated.
Yeah, no. No, I'm sober at the bar. You're drunk at the bar, and you're talking to me, and I'm just absorbing what you say.
Ah, yeah.
It's not a conversation.
Yeah, if you say so. Or I'm at the hall and you're like wine wasted and you're talking to me. And I'm just like, I haven't had a drink yet. But it was cool seeing you drunk for that one time. Seeing the way you're acting,
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, you don't remember shit.
No,
God.
I don't. I'm terrible
I'm
memory.
gonna put you in a fucking home. Old shit.
I don't even remember to buy new batteries for this
I
podcast.
know, right? Especially remembered how to work it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, thanks for having me again. It's his first Spice
Again?
American
What do you
Legion.
mean this is the first
Well, I
time you've
said thanks earlier at the beginning.
Oh,
The
yeah,
very
yeah.
first thing I said when we
Okay,
sat down was like,
okay.
"Oh, thanks for having me."
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't even remember the conversation we had like more or less an hour ago.
All right, Hilario. What's your last name?
God, you
Fuck
forget
it, I
that
don't know.
too. Yeah, Amazola.
Amazola?
Yeah,
Why would I remember that? No one. Does anyone call you Amazola?
not anymore.
Yeah, no. Jeff doesn't.
Don't call me
you
by my
Amazola?
slave name. By Tyler Watkins.
Yeah, Watkins. So Hilario, Amazola, and what else? Let's plug your interests again. Wildland firefighting. Join the Vets Hall if you're a veteran. Don't be a douchebag. Love thy neighbor.
And fuck them as well. But yeah, if you guys want to come by, it's like I said, 1425 J Street, Arcata, California. Huge ass cannon front, can't miss it. American Legion Post 274. Or just the Veterans Hall in general. That place needs a little more revitalization.
Right. Cannon, if you didn't hear that, there's a huge ass cannon.
Don't worry,
in
it's
the front lawn.
deactivated. We want to reactivate it and put it at City Hall, but it's gonna take a little doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. Add me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. It's just spelled how my name sounds. Hill.
No, Hill
It's HILL_R_E_O because it's how people say my name even if they don't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like hilarious at the US.
There you
Bam. And thanks to our lovely host over here,
Yeah.
Tyler Watkins, String Bean MMA, I think is his Insta. Which you're gonna post this on there anyways.
Yeah.
So it's the beginning. So
Yeah, no, I'll post this. I'm releasing one once a week. So yours will be out in like 2 months. Like I already got a bunch like lined up. I mean, I could do 2 a week, but then
that's just more stress on you.
yeah, it
and more
just
work.
depends on how often I get people in here.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I was gonna bring up a few more events. Like I brought up Oktoberfest, so it doesn't fucking matter if it's gonna be 2 months out. That's what I was gonna say. How long till this gets posted? But whatever. Come by for the New Year's. We're gonna have a celebration there.
Oh yeah, New Year's.
Marine Corps Ball, November 10th.
No, no one's going
this
to
year.
that. No one's going to that.
I thought about not going, but I'm already obligated at this point. But no, swing by if this podcast is out by then, and if you made it this far.
Yeah.
If not, then. All right, man. Yeah.